Hey everybody, it's your buddy Beard Grizzly. Nothing too intense today, but I wanted to make something before I get too absorbed into another game coming out shortly that I know will be a nice escape for me. At least I hope it will be. I wanted to give an update on where we're headed in the month of February and beyond. I don't do too many channel updates anymore. I try to leave those for the community page, but this one is a bit of a different direction than normal. So first up, there's a question I keep getting asked. What is Guardian School anyway? I mean, it's been a while since I've done an episode, so I can see where that question needs to be asked again. Well, how best to sum it up? I could just say go check out most of Season 1 and go from there to get a feel for it, but if you're just looking for a summation, well, it kind of goes like this? Think of Guardian School as your lecture hall, or at least meet-up point to discuss different points and topics. Before, when I ran it, it was more of a test just to kind of garner interest to see what everyone thought of the format. It turns out it was one of my more popular series that I ran, so of course I had to kind of bring it back. Its entire purpose as a series was made to be quick, informative, and get the basics of a topic out of the way. This time, however, I feel like the series would be better served in a bunch of different fashions, like character profiles, big and small, happenings around the city, older topics that just need some more rehash or summation. There will be other purposes for Guardian School. The series is also good for the ideas of self-care on my end, as they don't take quite as much to put together, if I'm being at all honest. Still, there has to be something to separate my typical videos from these, and aside from my Guardian being in poses like these, I want to still keep up with the roleplay element I had before, but I'll also be going a bit further this time around. I'm working on some audio things a bit to add some extra flavor to the overall character you see before you. That said, a lot of what we will have will be from the perspective of the Guardian, but we will at least include most of or all of the information that I can find on a topic at hand. I hope that makes sense. I'll be using these poses in other places besides just this, since they did take several days for me to get fully put together. There's a grand total of 108 poses at hand, and that certainly gives some diversity. I may start using them more often in news videos, other games talk, etc., but I'm not going to overtax myself and think too far on that. I'm kind of just spitballing at this point. Still, that's about it for Guardian School. To sum up, it's meant to be an in-character analysis of certain factors around Destiny that may not warrant full-blown videos, or may piggyback off of larger topics that we talk about over time. Expect some roleplay and shorter videos as we look into these topics, but they're not meant to replace anything else on the channel. It's literally there to make things a little different and dig up more about Destiny's world. This style also affords some other ways to have some guest speakers involved, be it yourselves or some others within the lore community or otherwise, and just in general talk more often, because as I said, this format's a little easier for me to put together. It's one reason I like the format. And speaking of, last video we had a guest speaker on, and I do want to continue with that. I'm hoping to get one other person on each month to voice a work they've made or something we can collab on. That's the hope anyway, but it depends on engagement, and I'm certainly not going to force people into making something for me on a voluntary basis, considering people are already too busy as it is. With that out of the way, pull up a chair and let's have a chat. Destiny is in a weird place right now, and I don't think that's out of line for me to say. There's plenty out there that still enjoy the story of the game, however, and that's something I still want to discuss and touch base with about the game. Well, I say touch base, but that's pretty much the only thing that I'm really passionate about within the game. The old Grimoire and newer lore tabs, at least to me, have a lot that I've been able to dig into, and it's still something I care about and want to discuss. I know the overall gameplay is definitely in a weird spot, but at least for me personally, I still enjoy the story. If I'm at all honest, it also has been kind of on my mind because it makes me feel like my content is devalued while Destiny is in this weird place, but realistically it's just what I'm still interested in. So that being said, let's talk about the future for a bit, since, you know, I'm in the future war cult. There's a joke in there somewhere about, you know, future or something like that you can extrapolate, I'm sure. Destiny is still going to be a mainstay here on the channel. I still like it. A lot, in fact. As I have said over the past few weeks, however, my brain hasn't exactly been in the best of places. It's been improving, so don't worry too much about that. I keep feeling these points where I can start feeling a bit more brighter again. Some of you may know what I mean. It's tough to explain. Basically, it feels like a cloud was injected inside of my head, and I just need the sun to pop through the clouds. Yeah, that's about as least philosophical as I can make it sound. Some of you may know what I mean. Others, I'm sure, kind of get those points now and again. But for me, this has just been a constant battle, especially over the past, really, month. I also posted a link to a small idea of how my brain's been actually operating lately, which might give you more of an idea where I'm at. You can find that in the community section here on the channel. For the future, however, I'm not going anywhere. I've decided that. No matter what I might need to do to make this place successful and keep you guys feeling welcome, which has always been my end goal, I'm gonna do it. I don't mean that from a monetary sense, I just mean it from a community sense. I'd love to see this place grow bigger, but to do that, I think we need to expand a little. So, what's the plan? First off, once I can get content rolling properly and I know I'm not losing my mind and can actually focus on something, I'll be working with some artists to change up the logo here on the channel. I'll run by some ideas with you guys before we end up setting anything in stone. You guys are the ones ultimately that I seek feedback from, so any of that will definitely be helpful. I'll also be looking into a new header for the channel, but the first thing is looking into the logo for the base of where we'll be going. I have several ideas already, some of which you guys have already passed by me. I'm hoping in the next month or so to get that stuff worked on. I'm also keeping my timetables kind of broad with good reason so I don't push it too far too fast on my end, but I still want to set expectations for you guys. Other games that I really hope to cover that are either coming up or already released so I can give myself a break are as follows. Monster Hunter World, Code Vein, depending on how development continues for that, Devil May Cry HD Collection, so I can give Capcom another $30 for a series I love, and all the while trying to replay Horizon Zero Dawn, Final Fantasy XV, and all of its DLCs, plus to replay through Nier Automata. I'm not saying these games will be on the channel, but perhaps expect some one-off videos in the future? Maybe? We'll see. Well, okay. Except for one of these titles. Monster Hunter World is going to be around this channel. Expect it. I've been playing the series since the PS2 version was released over here in the States, and I've only grown to love the franchise more. What we will end up covering and how often it will be covered is going to depend on how the title is and what I might be able to cover. I have a feeling I'll need to do an early release on how the game plays and a beginner's guide and a few other things, but we'll see how that goes and how the tutorials actually are this go around. Spoilers, they generally suck. I'm also not too sure how many people will actually stay around after the first initial wave of Monster Hunter World is played, but you can at least be sure that I'll still be here to cover it, because, like I said, I just love this franchise to absolute death. It's a bit of a grind, and it's definitely a different kind of title, so yeah, be aware of it. You may not necessarily like it, even for all it's hyped up to be. But as somebody that is definitely a longtime fan, I am happy to see it get a little bit more recognition than typical. That's at least where I'll leave it for now. Speaking of, I think I'll start to wrap things up. Just trying to write something and get back into the swing of things here on my end while keeping you guys up to date as best I can on what's happening with the channel. I'm not going anywhere at all. It's just been tough to do much of anything, really, over the past month, like I said. Again, I thank you all for your patience with me, and I can't wait to get back in the full swing of things soon. I promised a big spin foil theory to be popping up from the last time we had a major video, but I'll be putting that on hold to do a few Guardian schools, along with a couple other side topics. Again, just trying to get back in the swing of things. When I feel confident I can put the necessary time and attention into that theory, it'll go live on the channel. It's a good one. Worth the wait. At least, I think so. Anyway, that's all for now, Guardians. I'll see you next space time. Take care, and thank you so much again.